This is our fourth get-together on the Why Reading podcast. I'm Cassandra Sandmeyer, your Why Reading podcast host, and today couldn't be more fun for me. This is really exciting. This is exciting for anybody who knows Christina Prosperi. Christina is such a live wire, so much energy, and such a good person to know. And so
sweet. You're sweet.
No, you are. You energize me just being in the room.
Yeah, good.
You're never still, as you agree. You never stop moving. So for those of you that don't know Christina, I'm going to turn the mic over to her. The way that I got a chance to get to know Christina is through her involvement, her ownership, and her dedication to the community and True Ride Studio. True Ride Studio is a phenomenal place to get together with your friends, with people that aren't your friends yet, and get a workout on. That's something that happens, I think, as a side factor of going to True Ride.
Yeah.
I think that you start going to True Ride because you want to get fit and you want to get your exercise, but then you find something beyond that. So please tell me about True Ride, and tell me your story to True Ride.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. True Ride is that place where I found it. And I mean, to be honest, I first loved it because I had little tiny humans, and I was at another gym which had daycare, which was incredible. And then I was like, it's a lot to pack up those kids.
It is.
So when
I'm like leaning back and thinking about like more already. Yes.
So when they got a little older, I was like, I would love a place that doesn't have daycare because I can't take them, and then I can just avoid the mom guilt of like, I'm so sorry, there's no daycare. And so I found True Ride.
I love it.
Let's be honest. I had done that. And like, if there's an opportunity, I'm going to take them and do the thing. And I was like, I just really need 45 minutes for myself. And sometimes just packing them up and doing the thing was enough to deter me from doing a thing and having time alone. Or I was always worried because they were there. Are they going to come get me? So that's how it kind of started. I found True Ride. They were at a great space down the street on Churn Creek years ago, and I had been going for years. And then they migrated because there's previous owners who founded it, which I'm eternally grateful for. And they migrated over off of Market Street now, which is where we currently are. So we're on Market and Lincoln, 2100 Market Street. And we share the building with California Dance Company. And it was amazing, and I love it. The entire place is full of music and of motion and people and learning and choreography and this energy, which is incredible. And the opportunity came to purchase the business. And for the first time in my life, I was like, if we don't go for this, I will forever regret it. And bless my husband's heart when I was like, hey, bro, I think we should try this thing. Because we don't both have full-time jobs right now.
Right.
And
yeah,
3 children or
busy.
On boards are the things that we love because we're super involved, and that's great. And he said, sure, let's try. And we did, and then we got it. So I was like, oh, we won. Oh, okay. Then now okay, that's great. Because I was terrified. Like, what if it changes? And what if I lose this? I have never been able to show up consistently for years to a place that poured into me and allowed me to be a better human outside in the community. Because life is hard and things are rough. And community fitness was that thing that brings together people. And there's no judgment. You don't have time.
Okay, that is so true.
You are busy.
The lights are low.
Yes, it is dark.
You can't see my purple face.
No one knows.
You can't see my sweat. And the music is loud enough you can't hear what I'm saying.
Absolutely. 100%. People have earplugs in. But that was the biggest part is, for my, we'll just everybody knows my ADHD. I'm overthinking or intrusive thoughts or constantly thinking if what I have to do, the to-do list, that mental load that takes over that is really hard to put away.
Yeah.
So that ambience and light and music, and when you walk in that, we shut that door and your cell phones are gone. That is your 45 minutes. That was my 45 minutes. That was my self-care and investment. So I could fill up and get what I get in there to go out and give into the community. Because otherwise you just can't pour for an empty cup. And
that is so true.
So I just adore it. And that's what people love and come and find. And, if you're lucky and your kid can have a dance class at the same time in the evening, which does happen. We've got a few riders where their kiddo's going to hip hop, right? Cool. Mine's one of them. We drop her off and she does her thing. And then they come catch a class. So that is an option.
Oh, that's really cool.
But it doesn't have to be. You can absolutely say there's no daycare.
Well, exactly. You can still just totally make it your thing.
And it's quick.
And it's
you're in and out.
It's honestly, it's for everybody. I started there as a writer at the previous location, and you mentioned something that I think is what brought me to it. Is, I had gone to other spin classes and whatnot in other communities, other places I've lived that focus on not just the exercise but the community. And the community is like you said, when you go there. The energy, because you have the lights, you've got the music, you've got all the choreography. Everybody, it's like a high five. You can't frown. You can't walk in there and be like,
you can. We'll turn that frown upside down. You are welcome to show up as you. And sometimes that's like, I need a good cry.
There's a lot of truth to that.
I need to just be bummed, and that's okay. But you still get to invest in yourself. And you can be bummed, and we will high five you before you leave, and you will get a hello. And how are you? And that sucks. I'm so sorry you're going through that right now.
It's the truth.
Go in, take your 45 minutes for you, focus on you. You will come out feeling better, and then we can talk about it more. And maybe you have a different perspective on the other side. Yeah. You have that moment to find some clarity, find some connection, listen to something unhinged that Troy might say, and it puts you in a great mood, and you smile and laugh, and you're able to come out with a different perspective and then go back to life and figure it out. And that's, you have a great day, you come in, you clip in. You have a bad day, you come in and you clip in. We're here for all of it, and it's all good.
Because every day we do have all those emotions every single day, every single one of us. In sometimes
all of them in one day.
I was gonna say, sometimes all of them in an hour, even in an hour,
100%,
and sometimes in a class.
Yeah, that is we do. We put you through it for sure.
Great, finishing not so great. But there's something that happens within the classes that goes in there. So you go in, and it's not just somebody telling you, okay, we're gonna turn up the volume, we're gonna turn up the speed on your bike, we're gonna turn up the resistance. There's a sense of connectivity, and it's a sense of connectivity that happens within those four walls while that's happening. That bleeds out of those four walls. You walk in and you come in, you're like, everybody's got their story. Some people are going through, something at work. It's not their best day. Maybe it's something at home. It's not amazing. Maybe they're having an amazing day and they're just coming in to celebrate or finish. But it's everybody at every different stage of their life and ages, genders. Everyone is in there, and everybody is coming together in those 45 minutes. And there is a sense of connected, shared experience. Yes. That when you walk out, you all had that shared experience, whether you spoke to each other, whether you
didn't.
Whether you didn't. But
you were with community.
How do you think that comes together? What do you think that it is so special about walking into those classes? You guys as instructors are phenomenal. You bring positivity, but you bring reality.
They're incredible.
It's not always just positive. It's reality.
And they show up having those days as well. And I will, shout out to our instructors that are beyond incredible, that come in spite of good or bad days and dedicate themselves to those people in that group for that 45 minutes and there's so much that happens outside of that, where they're curating playlists and the music and the storytelling of that ride. So you get, individual parts and pieces of them and who they are and their own vibe in each ride. So you can, you're going to get the same amazing workout no matter who you show up and ride with. Mm-hmm. But you also get the opportunity to connect with different people at different times throughout our classes in a day or a week and find who's going to relate to you on a certain thing. Because sometimes I'm like, man, I just need some Lacey. I need a good Lacey right now. Or like, I'm going to go see Patty because I want to have that experience. And we have a format to a class where we're really going to warm you up and take you onto this peak. And then we have our true ride. We have a hand weight section. You've got moments of darkness and just some reflection of what that looks like and what you need of where you're going. How's your mental health? An opportunity. Troy will ask you, what is your mental, emotional, and relational and physical health right now? What's going on with you? How are you feeling? And sometimes that might be the first time somebody's asked you that in a long time. Yeah. And it gives you a moment to, I don't know, how am I doing? And then you can build on yourself and work on yourself. It is that ultimate self-care. And they work super hard to create that experience. And it is fun. It is super fun. And like you said, it's for a wide range ages. We've got our instructor, Patty, just turned 62. She is a powerhouse.
Never think so.
Here's the thing. We ride to live. Like, this is what keeps people moving is by doing this.
She is eternal.
It's amazing. Superstar. But our riders go, you can be, we've had some families that come too. We have husbands and wives and their teenagers that come and moms and their kids that come, like the teenagers or the 20-year-olds. So we have everywhere from like 16, and you can have your parent sign and they drive themselves and they love it. And then all the way up to, I think 74 is one of our max ages of folks, but because you can come and do the best you can or where you're at. There's a range. You can just sit on the bike and move the pedals and enjoy the community and catch up with people like before and after the class and just do what you can. Yeah. And because even you can max out, you can do whatever you need. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, for me, I love the rhythm riding. I want to be on the beat, and it's like, and like for me, I'm like execution. I'll never forget the first time I finished a full song standing up. I was like, I did it, because it takes time. You don't just come in being great, and that's with anything that we do. So there's just investing in yourself and giving yourself grace of trying something, and maybe I stand up for half the song, and maybe I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna see how we feel. And those lessons and things that we do inside are such a mirror of what we do outside in life. And you can have those failures and have those, that wasn't super great. Yeah. I'm going to work on it next time.
That's okay. Let's chat about that, the inside and the out. So beyond just what happens in the four walls at True Ride, when you go in there, and it, like the name is there's truth in your ride. Yeah. It makes you get real with yourself. Everybody is open to the journey, to whatever they will allow themselves to take. But I think that what I find really remarkable about your business, not just what happens, on the bike or when you walk in the door, but your business itself is connected to the community at a larger spectrum. It's not just the community built on the bike, screaming in the dark, having your best day, having your worst day, pushing the pedals. It happens. You guys take it outside. You do, and literally on the bike, but literally in other ways. Like you do the 4th of July.
Yeah, that's been fun.
So tell me some of your, you get involved on the sundial. What are some of the community rides that you guys?
Yes, and there's been some. So when we took over and were able to bring it on as our own, there was existing events that were happening like Bike Bark and Brew, where they would move all the bikes down to Fall River Brewery.
That's gotta be
It's a lot of U-Hauls and a lot of work. They are heavy. And that was fundraising for our local canine units. And that was Bike Bark and Brew. And it was absolutely incredible. Or they would have Blue Santa to raise money for that and have like a rave ride. And I think it was so incredibly important and part of the business that we bought that the owners used it as a tool to support the community for the things that they love. I've always been passionate about Reading. I'm 3rd generation here. Have been on a lot of boards and invested time and you just volunteering. Before I was even on any board, I would just show up at the Community Services Advisory Committee and learn about what they needed and how could I help? Can I help bring in sponsorships? Can I talk to people I know? Do you just need time, money or time? I can give my time. Yeah. I was staying home for 5 years. No money. But I can show up and show my kids, this is what you can do at any level. So we kept a lot of those original rides in that first year because we're about 18, 19 months in right now, and started figuring out how do we use the business for the things that we love. I've always been involved in community services and our parks and recreation and helping with the community creek cleanup. So we've started shifting those things into what Eric and I love and are passionate about. And that's such an incredible tool for small businesses. We're a member of the chamber. It's one of the first things we did was up that membership. I'm like, what can we do? Yeah. How do we get involved? Just like when nonprofit work that I do, a small business should collaborate with those and have that stronger partnership together. And it's one of my favorite things to do is be able to bring myself and my passion and Eric's passions, even our kids' passions, into the studio and use that as a platform. Or for example, One Safe Place. We will be dancing with the Shasta Stars in October.
I was just going to say, tell me a little about that.
Oh my gosh.
Because everybody knows you love to dance. Everyone knows.
In public, but it's going to happen. I'll be grooving. How do you not? It's such good music.
So how did that collaboration get brought up?
So we got involved last year for One Safe Place and Dancing with the Shasta Stars when Faith Barrett was writing, and she and I had connected And it was, we can host a ride as a fundraiser.
Yeah.
And have we had balloon arches, and it was wild, and the instructors teamed up, and we could have bike sponsors. And it also allowed a lot of our riders to come and ride for no cost, which was an amazing treat to them, because a lot of the businesses that came in were like, yeah, we're good. I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want
And
to
that's
ride.
okay too. And some did. Tri-Counties Bank came through, and Esteban killed it. he may have thought he actually died, but he did it, and it was great. So they can do that and have their people come and rep. But it was so fun to have the bike sponsorships on there and like share that out. And the riders that got to come and be on that bike were sharing it out as well, of like, thank you so much for this opportunity. And it was incredible. So then we have people that know me and thought it would be hilarious to nominate me for this year. And so that's happening. So I am going to be one of the stars, not the pros. I am matched up with Nick Meyer, who you will know from Cascade Christmas. He was Santa last year. He's going to be Santa again this year. He was just in The Wedding Singer. He's incredible.
Wedding Singer was phenomenal.
He has decades of experience with dancing. He's super tall, so he's going to lift me really, really high.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he is incredible. So I mean, they're all great, but I won as far as dancers go, who's a pro. And so we will be doing those things. And again, we'll be having the same thing where we made the rides actually free for community rides, so anybody can come and participate. Mm-hmm. And then we have bike sponsorships that are open, and people can donate directly to One Safe Place through Nick and I's link. Just saying. I mean, anybody's, but donate to ours. And then come and have a great time with community and be with people and learn about One Safe Place and do those things. So it's a way that we can leverage that and support the community, because it's something we can give, and it's fun.
It is fun. I think it does a lot of things all at one time. I took advantage of the sponsorship. I thought exactly,
Yes,
it's combining a lot of different things that I'm also passionate about: fitness, community. Just bringing everybody together. One Safe Place, of course, and it touches on so many of the corners of all the people and connections that make Reading great. You are, like I said, never not moving. So you graduated from Reading. You were a Shasta High graduate.
Go Wolves! Yes, yes.
Awesome.
My husband and I both 01. Hey.
And then you took off. You left Reading for a bit. You said you went to the Bay for a spin. But you're here. What was it that brought you back to Reading? What was it that made you change your mind, see Reading in a different light, look at Reading and say, you know what, that's the place I need to be?
Right. And I love Reading, and I loved growing up here, and it's amazing. And I got the I'm 18 itch, and I'm going to go out and be a traveling MRI technologist for, a decade before coming back. And I got to move around and see it, and I loved it. And I love the Bay Area, and I love the access to everything, but it was different between traffic and not knowing my grocery store person and being able to look people in the eyes and ask how they were, and having those everyday things where a person who knows a person.
Yes.
That was incredible, coming back to that, because I didn't have that same safety that I needed in a big space like the Bay Area. And so coming back, as I start having tiny humans and I want them to experience what I did, where I was out in Palo Cedro every summer at my aunt's horseback riding, or learning to barefoot ski when I was a teen, or doing archery in my hunter safety.
You're going to have to show me the bottom of your feet now.
Oh my gosh. It's been a minute. But those things, also cheerleading and swimming and fishing with my dad and going out to Whiskeytown and coming back. And I was a Parks and Rec kid. The plunge was my life, aquatic center, but it's the plunge forever. I wanted that safety and space, and having schools where people are watching out for my kids. Yes. And I have that. And my family's here. My parents are in the same house I grew up in. It's my jam. It's my home. Mm-hmm. And that I felt like I had a more powerful influence of what I could do here in the community. And I can see it. Even the small things I do and the time that I invest, I can see the actual difference it makes and track it. I can go and see how much I helped with the community services in the creek cleanup, and go watch city council where Director Mene does the report of, here's the difference that we made. Mm-hmm. Here's the impact that we made. And I get to be a part of that. And that feels good.
There's so many little bits that I want to pull from what you just said. I think the reason but one of the things that I enjoy about being around you is that we have a lot of similar interests in the way we attack life. I
Sure.
think that the things that bring you happiness are some of the same things that bring me happiness. Being around people that are energetic and want to be part of the community really feeds my soul.
Yeah.
And I see that in you, and I see your exuberance for wanting to not just live in your community, but to touch other people that are part of your community.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other involvements that you've put yourself into because your love of Reading and Shasta County? Like, what are some of the board, what are some of the other things outside of True Ride that people maybe don't know that you're involved in?
Oh, right.
A lot.
Like that damn LinkedIn profile. You can just read the story of my life. I currently, and I started off small with being on the Women's Fund, and that's changed over the time with my bachelor's is in public administration. And when I was doing that, I literally studied Reading and our Northern California counties of how they work. And that allowed me to understand more how I can make effective change. Because if I can know the rules, I know how I can be involved in the power that I have as a citizen and how it works so that I can be in the know and understand. So I bounced around, and as I was studying, I found our different advisory committees. So I started off with supporting housing and being on that advisory committee, and then fell in love with community services and didn't join the advisory committee, but could go attend the meetings. And then I've been on I was super grateful to have somebody that had gone through the Leadership Reading program, and I did that. And that was how I figured out, after I have my degree and I'm changing careers, right, from MRI, and then I'm home for 5 years, what am I going to do, and I'm back in Reading, how do I invest in Reading and invest in myself at the same time? So as I was finishing up my degree in public administration, I came across the Leadership Reading program, and that was in that last year of my bachelor's degree that I went through that program and learned, right? Because I'm a knowledge junkie. How can I give back? Well, first let me figure out Reading. And even though I've been here forever, and my dad's parents came in 1945, and then he was here, my mom and everyone, we've been here for generations. There's so much that you don't know because there's so many people working behind the scenes and all these organizations that are really feeding our souls and making our lives better and healthy and happier. So that is sort of how I came about these different things. I've been on the Shasta Historical Society because I'm a nerd, and I probably get that from my dad of, did you know? Did you know about this bridge?
Hey, sport, did you know?
Yeah. Did you know what that used to be? And this city that's grown and changed over time. And so currently, because there's only so much hours, and I've learned what I love and where I want to invest my time. So over the years of me learning different things, I can then be a little more strategic because, time is finite. So where am I going to do this? So currently I'm the president of the Reading Parks and Trails Foundation. So that worked out because I love it. And it's an incredible board of humans. And we've recently been able we'll raise funds through different events. This last year was a lot of pouring beer out at the sports park. Yeah. Of thanks for supporting parks. Yeah. And we'll do this. And we were able to just donate a good chunk to the community services to pay for material for upgrades in about 12 different projects that are small, of putting concrete by the pavilion so there can be a concreted dance floor there, and adding grasses because people have weddings there, and we can make it more beautiful in all these places and spaces. Yeah. So that I love, and we can have these fun events and bring people together and offer fun things, and then invest that money back into something where we see shortfalls and they need help. And then the other thing that I just joined and I'm super excited about, my oldest is disabled. She's global developmental delay. Peyton, she's amazing. I think she's more famous than me in her classes because she's just a happy kiddo.
I joined from her mom.
She's so great. I joined
She's stealing energy.
Far Northern Regional Center. So I'll be kicking that off in the next couple months and having my first board meeting coming up, and those things are incredible.
What's that? Tell me. It's new to my ears.
Oh, the regional center. Yeah. So when you have a child or an adult with disabilities, under the Lanterman Act, which is a requirement, it's in legislature to offer services. We have regional centers, and they're across California. So we have our far northern regional center, and it serves many of our counties, about 9 up here. And that is supports and funding of what do you need as a person with a disability to live the most fulfilling life that you can.
Awesome.
Because when all of our citizens can be productive and a part of our economy, we are better for it. And that Absolutely. Is when we're at our strongest. So it's how do we empower people with tools and skills and information and abilities so that they can participate to the fullest extent possible. So I'm really excited because that's something that we know of, and I can take my personal lived experience and also help at a higher level. And, selfishly, I get to learn more too about what is around us and how that works.
Well, and I bet that gives a great opportunity to, obviously to be helpful within your own central community with your family. But then I'm guessing because of our community being a little bit rural and a little bit smaller, which we all love, there's probably not a lot of advocacy or a lot of people out there to provide the programming or to lend the support. So having somebody with your excitement, you're incredibly intelligent and you're driven. So having somebody with your skill set on there, they're gonna, I'm sure, have a great benefit with you there.
I'll bring what I know, and then I get to learn from all the amazing folks that are on there as well that have been doing this for longer than I have in a more formal way. But all of us come to the table with having family or kids in our wheelhouse, and even board members that live incredibly with their own disabilities that are a part of it and have their own lived experiences, and we get to have this incredibly diverse board that does great work and makes sure that we're all lending our lived experiences and making recommendations that are going to help our economy and our loved ones have great lives the best that they can. Yeah. That's what it's all about.
That's wonderful. There's one other program that I know that you're involved in, and I'm wondering if you could speak to it a little bit. There's a group here in Reading. It's Reading Citizens for a Better Reading.
Yeah, Better Reading. Woo.
Better Reading, right? Who doesn't want to?
Yeah.
We're great. Let's just say that we're great right now.
Yes.
But there's always room to grow and always want to achieve more. So tell me a little bit about what that group, what's up, what's happening. I'm involved in part of this as well a little bit, but
yes.
help me out here.
Yeah. So I try to stay involved, and with that public administration degree and just also my experience in government funding and financing, because I've worked in transportation at the state level for a number of years, and my master's is in sort of that transportation management and funding and financing and such. So I'm aware of these things, and just involved, like I said, with parks and trails and these items, and have done other fundraisers for like our canine units, which all the work I do typically raises money to supplement these categories, which is interesting. And so I heard that it was happening and was thrilled because, back to that Leadership Reading program, you learn about what the need is and the true cost of things. And I am familiar with grant funding and how often maintenance is not a part of that. We see that across state government and federal government. We have capital funding, and you can go for grants for new things often, but maintaining things is often up to the local agency to take care of. But costs go up and money doesn't go up. We have sales tax revenue that we currently pay, but in Reading, it's only California sales tax. So all of the money that we pay in for my business, my point of sale, 7.25 when you buy a Power Bar or a Celsius, and that all of that gets collected and it goes to the state. It's California sales tax only. Mm-hmm. And we get back about 1% of that, which is around $30 million. Mm-hmm. It's not enough to do what we need for maintenance and take care of all the parks that we have. And not just parks, these are the restrooms that are at the parks and the public infrastructure for water that's at the parks, like the graders that are there, the public safety, and having not just officers, but bike team and our CERT team and all these other programs that come into it for preventative and places where people can reach out and offer access to the other services that are around as well. Mm-hmm. Or just road maintenance, having those roads. I'm not I want a smooth road. I am tired of having to spend time and money on car maintenance because my alignment when I'm driving up there. And council and our incredible current city government have to make hard choices of prioritizing what gets done and what doesn't get done, because these are constrained budgets that we have. We don't have all the money in the world. And some money has to be spent on certain things versus the other. So I was grateful to be asked to help. Again, right? What can I give? Time or money? Well, I can give time on this, and I can help advocate for it and have conversations with people that are interested in knowing. As somebody who is a voter, just encouraging people to read, learn, get involved, ask questions, and vote. However you fall and whatever that looks like, participate.
It's your community.
Be engaged.
Yes, exactly. Wherever
do
you
the
fall,
thing. Yeah.
Your participation is key. And I think that is what that's what brings us all, a safer community, a healthier community. There's so many aspects that, we all go downtown, and our downtown Reading fire station it's a showpiece. I mean, it's that not mid-century. It's that classic. The architecture is so stunning. It's such a peculiar and unique old building, though, and the maintenance.
It needs upgrade. Yeah,
it needs,
the
things.
Old buildings are cool.
Old buildings are cool, but they need to be maintained.
Yeah.
And so there's
we
things
need
like
new
that.
pipes for clean water to go through. Yeah, absolutely. And those are all part of it. I think folks don't know a lot of the building maintenance that actually goes under community services, and those are things. So when you're looking at this initiative, which I will say is now Measure A. Right, we got the signatures that are needed. This is a citizen-led sales tax, and it's a specific sales tax. So when you go on to, you can go to better-reading.com. That will start changing now that it's on for the November ballot. It is Measure A. Okay. So now it'll be vote for Measure A. And that's what's going to be happening. So you'll start seeing that shift as we get closer. Those are the things people maybe not... If it's on your wheelhouse, you don't know. We have folks that are running the show and in the city, and you can be as involved as you want. But often we've got lives, we've got kids, we've got schools,
everybody's
we've
busy.
Got work, we've got things. There's only so much capacity that we're all human. And so not everybody will understand. And right now that's a big part of it, is encouraging folks to get out and ask questions of how does this impact me if it does pass in November. Mm-hmm. And we're doubling the money that comes in. We only get 1% back. So that's the 30 million. So essentially, if we're spending local and we're keeping 1% on specified things, it can only be spent on certain things, then we're essentially doubling the money that we have to use for all the deferred maintenance that's come up for roads, being able to put money into the sports park and get fields, or the soccer park, or the civic, or the riverfront with the rodeo. These economic drivers, so there's quality of life and things we love. I want a bathroom when I go to the park with my kids.
Yeah, a clean one, a safe one.
I want a great one with ADA accessibility, and my daughter Peyton can use it, and everybody can, and they're in great functioning places and spaces. And I don't want our city council to have to choose between that and public safety or a road. I think we need all of it. I know we need all of it. And what happens, what are the questions that people need to ask of what happens if it doesn't pass? What choices does city council have to make? Because they will be presented, because we have a 2-year budget that happens. And we have a balanced budget right now, but on this last one, we had to make decisions to create a balanced budget with about a $5 million shortfall of what does this look like to keep a 10% reserve, right, in our sort of coffers, because it used to be 5% that we kept, and now it's been 10% for a few years. That's changed. So we have that savings for things and emergencies, but what does that look like if we don't have more money coming in? What choices will city council have to make? Do we want to protect public safety and having those things, or do we want to keep the restrooms and the things in the parks going? And those are going to be hard choices and decisions that have to be made in order to keep a balanced budget and keep moving forward as a functioning city. And the collective giving part of this, as I see it, is an important time for us to come together and give a little bit for my own better Reading, and also for those where we're trying to bring people in to help, because that's a huge part of it, is supporting medical practitioners in coming in so I can have a doctor and these other things that we're also working on that are other items, being in a rural space up in Northern California that we're working on and we need. It all works together, and we
it's
need
a
those
butterfly
things.
effect.
Yeah.
Completely. Everything is connected in every way, which is amazing that we got to that beginning with True Ride. Everything's a butterfly
Full
effect.
circle.
It is a full circle. It is well, and it's a full circle because True Ride begins with a sense of community commitment and committing to oneself and committing to being a true and authentic person.
Yes.
When in the room. It's a commitment that you make to be there. It's a commitment that you make to be authentic to yourself. You show up with your best day, your worst day, any day.
You show up.
You show up. And that is the same as community involvement. And wow, full circle. It kind of brings us all the way back around.
Fun. Yeah, it's those parallels in life that we love. And with True Ride, right, that's part of the social fabric. All these things are part of our social fabric and what make up our community.
Yeah.
So, going back to when we're trying to encourage people to come in, and we have these incredible lakes and places and spaces, that's awesome. But I also think they need creature comforts. If they're coming from the city, they're probably used to a high-end boutique cycling studio where they can go meet people. Mm-hmm. And we have that. And that's the coolest part about Redding, is it's not an or, it's and. We have an awesome downtown. We have amazing lakes and trails and places where we can bike outdoors. But if we're wanting to, we're encouraging people to come here, but we have to acknowledge they have to leave something behind. Yeah. They have to leave family or leave what they know. And maybe they've been in a concrete jungle and that's what they're used to. So when we're like, cool trees, that might not be their vibe. I mean, they will learn to love it because it's spectacular, but they might just want a really cool spin studio to go to. And then you start learning and you can make connections of, I got a kid and where do I go to a dentist? Or, my mom moved up here with us because my husband did this job, and where do my kids go to school, and where do I have support for seniors? And I can introduce, here's our senior support person. Yep. And when you first walk in, that's our Love Local board. And you can go over there and I'm like, here's their pamphlet. Here's the flyer for another, thing. You want to start a small business? Here's where I can get you connected to the chamber and these other economic development support systems and all these cool things that we have, so you can build a new life here and feel comfortable and confident. And we need all these things, just like the sales tax. We need all things. We need roads and safety and parks. We do.
Every single person in Redding deserves every single thing that you're fighting for. Everybody here, we're all wonderful. Yeah. We're a wonderful community with outstanding people, and we deserve it.
Yeah, we do. And, we work hard for these things, and it's hard. I get caught in conversations because I understand, I want good roads and parks, and I want these places and spaces. I also want strong oversight with our local government, but we can't be. This is where we want both things, where we want roads, but we don't want to pay for it, and we want the government to take care of it, but we don't want the government involved in our stuff. So we do have to find a balance of what works for us. But it's not staff's job to do certain things. They take direction from our city council, and we as people need to show up and voice our concerns or celebrate what we also love and tell them when they're doing a great job. Yeah. And be involved in those things so we can continue to know what is a priority. Because like I said, if this doesn't work out and we have to have serious conversations about what doesn't move forward.
It's going to look like a very different Redding.
You're going to still want to be involved of what are your priorities, what can go. And that I don't think we're there yet. I want to personally have an opportunity to invest with a simple sales tax and have collective giving where it's local and we have control locally. And this is what's going on, where we can have this money come into our community and stay and make those decisions and make informed decisions and have our citizens show up and voice what they want so that our council can do those things and follow through and, direct city staff to do the thing. So it's hard and it's challenging, but we're getting there.
But it's also fun because we are a small community, and your input matters. As each person, you really have the opportunity to impact and affect change, whichever way you wanted to see it go in this community. That's the great thing about Redding. For those of you that can't get enough of Christina, check her out at True Ride. You can't get enough of her, so you're going to have to go to True Ride. Tell them where they can find you at True Ride. Tell them.
Yeah. Find us online. We've got just the regular online, trueridestudio.com. I have a blast where we've got really cool people doing fun social media, so you can find us on Instagram or Facebook, or what is it, Threads now? I don't know. I can't keep up. It cross-posts, and it's simple. So that has good information. Your first 2 rides are free. We really want people to have a low barrier of entry to come and try it out. So come and ride for free. See how
Tell them you
feel.
saw on the Y Reading podcast.
Ooh, yes. We need a Y Reading discount code.
Boom.
All right, we'll figure that part out for sure. And then, leaving on a note that's outside of True Ride is get involved and just start getting, read more and ask questions and come to city council. You can find out a ton of information on the city website of meeting times and who does what. And all of that information is public and really easy to find on the website. So I encourage everybody to get involved and maybe find a place where they can help.
It's
and
our
find
community.
They love.
Find a spot where you
yes,
fit.
Please. It's time or money.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much.
This is great. You were great.
I want to keep talking. We're going to keep talking after this, but you can catch this episode and stay tuned for more. I thank you for joining.
Perfect. Thank you so much.